Great rise, beloveds. Give me a minute. It's still a little bit early, but you know who it is. You know what it is. It's your girl, Queen Goddess, the King Advocate, and it is Melanated Monday. So, give you all a moment to get here. You got like 2 minutes before we can actually start. All right, let's see. You go ahead and bring our Facebook family in. Great rise, beloveds. You know who it is. You know what it is. It's your girl, Queen Goddess, the King Advocate. It is Melanated Monday. It's 9 o'clock. Y'all know how I do. It's 9 o'clock. Let's get in. Do what we got to do. Get the hell on. We got a lot of work to do. You saw what the topic is tonight. I may open the phone lines. I do not wish to be here all night, and I know what's going to go down. Great rise, Travaris. Thank you, beloved, for being here. I so appreciate you. I hope that you all, as I did get a chance to see what the topic was, if you're able to share it or bring in somebody with you, that would be dope. If you know some young folks that need to hear this, that would be extra dope. What's going on, King Tommy? What's going on, loved one? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. That would be dope. I really want to get our young folks in here. They need to learn some things. They need to hear some things for sure. I like that little dancing man. But yeah, they need to learn some things, as do our older people as well. My thought is not to be here the whole hour, but you know how that goes. I just really want to touch some things. If you all saw, I did 2 videos a couple days ago, 2 videos about this topic what we're dealing with. So I just want to address it a little bit differently. Great, Rob Cedric, I see you, beloved. Thank you for being here. I want to address it a little bit differently this evening so we can get in and get out. I'm kind of leery about opening up the phone lines only because I don't want to have long, drawn-out conversations. I just want to get in and get out. So maybe within a half an hour period or 15, 20, whatever, I'll figure it out. So give me just another minute or so, and we'll get started. Give people time to get in here and get themselves situated. If you have not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do that. That is Queen Goddess, the King Advocate, and click on the icon, the Queen with the sword. If you have received an invitation to join, and check your IMs or whatever, because I know those of you who are here right now got an invitation, so I don't know if you actually saw it or not. But if you received an invitation to another Facebook group, Protect the King, please check that out. And I would really love if you would become a active member of that. Okay, we got some things going on. Rhonda, what's going on, loved one? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. We're going to get started. It's only 2 minutes after. My folks tend to get here when they get here, but I don't want to be here all night. I'm a little exhausted. You can see my background has changed. I have moved on up, so I'm tired. So anyway, as you saw, tonight's topic is why the black man is being targeted really. Okay. Most of us are under the impression that is simply just because of the tone of his skin. That is the basic racism. Let's just put it that way, because it's the basic racism that we've been taught, that we're used to throughout history. And it's so much bigger than that. It's bigger than that. There are reasons why I tell you all what I tell you. The information that I give you is for a reason. When I tell you to raise your vibrations and what frequencies to be on, it's for a reason. When I come at you as the king advocate, it's for a reason. I don't want the women to have any thought that I'm dismissing us as women, that I'm dogging us as women, because that's not the case. My purpose to come at us the way that I do is to arm you, is to give you information, is to provoke you to think differently, because we have a particular job to do when it comes to our Black men. Okay, so I need to go back a while, go back into some history, go back into some biblical history. There's my sister, girl. I ain't seen you in a minute. How you doing, loved one? I appreciate you all as well. I want to go back into some biblical history, just a little bit. All right, to give you a little insight or reminder on why it's necessary for us to protect these men, protect our kings. There was a time when the children of Israel, under the rule of Pharaoh, were multiplying rapidly. And that became an issue for Pharaoh. It became an issue because these people who were of brown skin, who were of a melanated nation, if you will, they were melanated, like us, they were melanated. They began to multiply in numbers quickly. There is a strength in numbers. There is power in numbers. This is known. That began to concern Pharaoh. That began to concern the rulers of the nation. If all of these colored people continue to multiply the way that they do, we're going to have a problem. If they continue to multiply in these numbers and in the strengths, we're going to have a problem. Kayla, what's going on, loved one? I'm so glad that you are here, and thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. But there's going to be a problem. We have to do something about these people who are rapidly multiplying. They are strong. I mean, look at the work that we're causing them to do, and they're getting it done like it's no problem at all. They're getting it done. However, if we don't stop them from multiplying, they're going to overtake us. They're going to outnumber us. They're going to rise up against us. In the event that there are wars, they're going to unite with one another and potentially take us out. This is written in the book of Exodus, chapter 1, I believe, and like verse 7, 6, 7, 8, whatever, somewhere around there. But it's in the book of Exodus, which deals with the exiting of a mass of people, the getting out, the departure of a whole nation of folks. It's a reason why it's put in there. So anyway, the Israelites were increasing rapidly, abundantly, and they were extremely strong. So the thought of the Pharaoh was, well, because there are so many of these folks, it's a lot of, and they're so strong, we're going to have to deal with them a certain kind of way in order that they don't rise up against us. Now, here's the difference between then and now. Pharaoh the initial thought of the Pharaoh was to deal with these groups of people, this nation of people, wisely, because of the fear that if war broke out or when war broke out, that there would be a gathering, there would be a communion, a unification, if you will, of these people. They will rise up against him and his people and overtake them. So the thought was, let's deal with them wisely. That's not what's happening now. I see you, Steve. Great rise, beloved. Thank you for being here. And of course, I appreciate you. That's not what's been happening. We have not been dealt with wisely. It's strictly been, the black man has been dealt with out of the fear that he will rise up, out of the fear that he will unify with other melanated men in particular, out of the fear that he will remember who he is. He will remember from which he came. He will remember his purpose and his power and his position. He'll remember these things and he'll rise up against the oppressor. The thought is to keep him out of knowing, keep him from remembering who he is. Deal with him wisely, but keep him from remembering who he is. Keep him from remembering his strength, his power, his position, who he is as a people. There were a certain nation of people that were called upon by the Most High as the children of the Most High, the children of Israel. These were the people that were named specifically as the Most High's people, okay? Specifically. So there's a certain protection over them. There's a certain protection over them. And there's also another nation of people who are to protect this particular nation of people. Okay? So let's go back. The numbers, the power, the strength, the position of these particular people. Going back, there was rumored, still dealing with biblical times, there was rumored that there was going to be a male child that was going to be born that would have the ability, that would have the strength and the anointment, if you will, to cause an uprising of his people, that would cause a shift in the power, that would cause a unification of his people. So the idea was to prevent that. So we don't know exactly who this individual is. To prevent his coming, we just gonna kill all of them. Just get rid of all the black men, all the black males that are born, just kill all of them. We'll figure it out later who's who. We'll figure it out later. But in the meantime, kill every black male child that is born. Keep the female alive, but the black male child, kill him immediately. Now, why was it necessary to keep the female child alive? Just my thoughts, okay? Just my thought. The female child would eventually give birth to another female who would become the property of the Pharaoh. She would become the property of the master. She could be utilized as the go-between again. And we've talked about this over and over and over again when we deal with the Willie Lynch programming, how the women's roles were switched. The woman was put in the head position. The man was put behind her, but she was made the go-to person. So now the man who was the head is no longer the go-to person. He's the one that she's got to protect. So the woman was the one being used as the middleman, if you will. She was the one being utilized. She was the pawn. She was the one that was being used Okay, she was the one perceived as the weaker of the two. So she was, I won't say she was the target, but she was the tool used to get to the target. So it was necessary to keep her alive because she's easily manipulated. We can control her. She's easily controllable. It was that part. She's easily controllable. And if any one of them got out of line and became uncontrollable, well, we're going to make an example out of her. We're going to beat her. We're going to whip her. We're going to do the same thing to her as we've done with her man. We're going to do the same thing until she gets back in her place, until she gets back in line. We're going to do the same thing to her. We're going to put a certain fear in her mind that will cause her to become submissive to the Pharaoh, become submissive to the master, become submissive and not stay in her natural place. I don't know if people are trying to call me or not. But anyway, so that's part of the history. And I see you all there. I see you, y'all stirring. And Nicodemus, I see you, beloved. Thank you for being here. Leonard, I see you, loved one. I appreciate you for being here. So that's just some of the history. That when that decree went out, the decree went out for the midwives to make sure that every male child that was born was taken out. Every. In order to prevent one slipping through and becoming the one that was rumored about, that would be the Messiah, that would be the one that would cause his people to unite, that would be the one to cause his people to uprise and, like I said, change the whole power, the power shift. There would be a power shift. There would be an uprising. There would be one that would do that. So in order to prevent that, kill all of them. As the woman, there was a responsibility, as it was shown, to protect him. So everything was done to make sure that these black males, some of them, most of them, whatever, got out the way. They were not in plain sight. It was the job, the responsibility of the woman to protect him, whoever he was. It was her job, it was her position to protect him. So what's happening right now? We are not doing our job as the woman to protect the king, because we have now been conditioned to operate in how we feel based on our history, on how he's been represented to us as less than. He's been represented to us to be the tail and not the head. So now we are responding to him based on that historical conditioning. We're not looking at him as king. We're not looking at him as a God. We're not looking at him as the head anymore. So it's not in us to protect him. We're looking at him, well, you need to protect me. True indeed. However, we need to protect him first so that he can do what he was called to do, what he was brought here to do, what he was ordained to do. He needs to be able to do that. And he cannot do that if he's not protected. We have a responsibility to protect him. Make sure don't nobody try to call while I'm on here. We have a responsibility to protect him, and we have fallen short. I'm calling to my sisters to rise up and protect the king. Hashtag protect the king. We have a calling. There is a reason why our black men are being attacked. They don't know which one is the one that's going to cause the rise up. They don't know which one is going to cause the uprising. So to prevent that, just kill them all. You say, explain how we protect it. I will explain that when you got the invitation for Protect the King. Go there, loved one, because certain things ain't gonna be going on right here. So you got the invitation. So go there and we'll talk about it. But like I said, we have a responsibility to do so. I will say this, one of the ways that we get ready and get armed to protect him is we have to raise our vibrations, get in our God frequency of 963 megahertz. That's the God frequency. We need to raise our vibrations so we are able to receive our divine download. We will get the instructions, but we got to be ready. We got to be prepared and able to receive it. How we eat, what we're doing, what we're listening to, how we're thinking, all of that affects our ability to receive the information. So I'll give you that one. Raise your vibrations. If you're not sure how, I'll give you that. I ain't got to trip on that one. Right now, you can go and get them. They're called binaural beats. You can find them on YouTube. BINAURAL, binaural beats. And you want to look under the solfeggio sound, solfeggio, SOLFEGGIO, I believe that's how it's spelled. But they're pure tones. They have a direct connection to our brain waves. It causes certain things to happen in our brain that will allow us to receive the information that we need. The brain has to be changed. The energies have to be changed. The vibration, the frequency has to line up with nature. So that's one way that I can share, that I will share. So yeah, moving forward. But again, we have a responsibility as women to protect him, not be angry at him because he's not doing something or because he doesn't have something. He doesn't have these things deliberately because that's part of the resource that he needs in order to achieve what he is divinely created to do. What's going on, loved one? I see you, Lily. What's going on, love? Appreciate you for being here. That's the reason he doesn't have access to his resources, because that's all he needs is access to his resources. He don't need nothing else. He needs to be reminded of the strength of his own mind. He needs to be reminded of the strength and the power in his melanin. He needs to be reminded of the strength of just who he is, the strength of his existence. He needs to be reminded of that. He has a divine purpose here, and they know that, and they're trying to prevent that, because what also happens is when everything shifts, which it will, and there's only a limited amount of time when these things are taking place, and they know that there's a limited amount of time. They're doing everything they can. They're responding, they're acting out of a fear that their time is up, that the paradigm is about to shift, that we are going to remember that we are not the minority. We're going to remember that we are not the slaves. We are going to remember that we are not the homeless. We have a home, that we are not what they have identified us as. We are not what they keep saying we are. We're not what we keep saying we are as far as title, what we claim to be our ethnicity. And I'm going to stop saying it, okay? We are not that. And they're knowing that. They're learning that. They're seeing that we are changing things rapidly. Again, history is again repeating itself. Kevin, what's going on, loved one? I appreciate you for being here. So sorry. Sorry about that. But history is repeating itself. And we have to be paying attention to what part of history is repeating itself, because it's been doing that over and over and over again, but we're missing the timelines. We're not understanding it. We're overlooking things or misunderstanding things. We're good at understanding, but we need to start overstanding what we're dealing with and what's dealing with us. I wanted the young people to get on here tonight because of everything that they're doing. Because of everything that they're doing, and they're responding out of anger, they're responding out of emotion, and I get it. Like I said, I've done 2 videos already about the same subject matter. I get that they're angry. However, history has already shown that that is not the way to counteract or counterattack the enemy. That's not the way. We have a responsibility to show them how to fight responsibly. We have a responsibility to give them the information that they need in order to be armored. We have a responsibility to show them what to do, how to do it, give them the education that they need so that they can be prepared to fight when it's actually time. Right now, they need to be shown why it's necessary to fall back in their presence of war. Never, and I mean never, do you put your face in the face of your enemy when you're trying to defeat him, because that's how he does a head count. That's how he knows who's here. That's how he knows how to attack. That's how he wins every time. You cannot show up and say, all of us are here to fight and this is what we're going to do. We have to move quietly in stealth mode with the information, with our vibrations raised, with the download, with the divine download in the correct timing, in the correct order. Again, I understand the anger. I get it. However, we're not going to win that way because we're showing too much. We're telling too much. We're doing too much. And we're doing it to the wrong people. We're doing too much. I'm digressing just a smidgen. However, that part, that was necessary to say. Like I said, I'm hoping more young people get on here before I get off. I'm not going to be on here too much longer. But the whole purpose of this live was for you all to understand the real reason why the black man is being attacked, why he's being targeted, because there is a divine order, a divine purpose that's going to rise up through him. And we as his helpmeet have to protect him as they did in the times of old. They protected the male. They protected him because they knew he had a divine purpose. He needs to be protected. Hashtag protect the king. If you got the invitation, join the group. And all y'all got the invitation. Join the group. Protect the king. It's a reason why he needs to be protected. And it's a reason why we as women have the charge to protect him. We've been put in the middle between the master, between the oppressor, between the Pharaoh and our men. We've been put in the middle. We've been put as his shield. There's a reason for that. We're not thinking. We're not utilizing that position correctly. We're trying to use it against our men instead of against the one that's oppressing him. We're there to shield him, period. If we're in the middle, if the oppressor is looking at us face forward and our men are standing behind us, he can go do what he needs to do because we act as the shield. We act as the distraction. He can go do what he needs to do, and we're still protecting him. But we're not thinking that way. We have a divine purpose to protect our men, which means, men, you have a divine purpose to fulfill the divine purpose. You cannot continue to have a mindset of lack. You cannot continue to have a mindset of being a victim. You cannot continue to have a mindset of just being comfortable. You have to build. You have to rebuild. You have to regain your position and stay firm in it. You have to listen to your divine instruction on how to move, where to move, when to move, what tools you need in order to move. You have to pay attention. You have to get reconnected to the source. You have to have communication with each other. You have to build with each other. You have to hold each other accountable. It has to be okay for you all to lean on each other, for you all to shed tears with each other when it's necessary, for you to come up with a plan. You have to do these things because you are called to do them. This is not a joke. You have a divine purpose. We have a divine purpose. The nations are to look to us for guidance. They're to look to us for guidance, to know what to do. We're not showing them what to do. We're showing them how to get rid of us. We need to show them why we're raising up and why they need to acknowledge the rise, why they need to protect the rise, why they need to protect the king. They're operating out of fear. It's not so much hate per se, it's fear that they will no longer exist and that we will retaliate in the same fashion, if not worse, than they have to us. There is a fear. They have every right to be afraid. However, the way we respond to that dictates everything. The enemy cannot be prepared for you if he doesn't know who you are, how many of you there are, what you have to fight with, or what your strategies are. They cannot prepare for that. They have studied us, though. They know how we move. They know how we think. They know how we move off of the emotions. They know this already. It's already mapped out. We don't know how they move. We don't know how many they have. We don't know what they look like, what they sound like, what their language is, even though we speak their language every day and have no idea that the definition is not the same. We're not paying attention. We are not connected to the source. We've cut our own umbilical cords from the source. We've cut it. The information we need comes through a divine download, which you receive when your vibrations are risen. Raise your vibrations, 963. If you're just starting at 432, that's fine. But raise your vibrations. Is my internet acting up, Steve? Or is that just you? Are y'all seeing me clearly? Because if not, you can go over here to YouTube. Queen Goddess, the King Advocate. If you're having a problem over here on Facebook, go to YouTube. Queen Goddess, the King Advocate. No, what? Oh, okay. All right. Well, okay. Cool. Do you all have any questions that you have for me? Any comments or concerns? Renee, what's going on, sister girl? Appreciate you for being here. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Because I'm not going to keep you here all night. I didn't need to be here for a full hour. It wasn't put on me to be here for a full hour, just to get the information out. So you have a question, Leonard, go ahead and ask your question. If you want to call in, if that's quicker for you, the calling number is 770-906-5271. You can call in and I will address your questions, comments, or concerns. But again, we have a as women a purpose to protect you. Protect the king. Hashtag protect the king. Brother Cecil says this is why they're forever creating hoaxes for us, because they know we're going to react. Absolutely. Them false flags. Absolutely. Absolutely. We're giving them all the energy they need to do exactly what it is they're doing. If you fall back and say nothing, if you fall back and not appear to be doing something, you hear what I'm saying? If you fall back and not appear to be doing something, they have no way to combat you. They have no way to prepare for what's coming because they don't know what's coming. So you heard what I said. The appearance is everything. I do believe in self-defense. Please make that known. I do believe in self-defense. I do not necessarily support the looting and all that shit because it ain't doing nothing. That part is not doing nothing. That's strictly out of emotion. All of this is stemming way back, biblical times, as to why the black man is being targeted. Because out of him, out of his people, there is going to be a rising up. From him, there is going to be someone called to change some shit. From him, we have a divine calling as the woman to protect him. And I was just given another thought that I'm going to keep to myself because that is a weapon. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold it. But it's information. But we have to make sure that we are protecting our men. It is absolutely necessary that we protect our men. Brothers, protect each other. Educate each other. Comfort each other. Hold one another accountable. Teach each other. Build with each other. You have something to do divinely. You have something to do, and we need you to do it. We're expecting you to do it. And I personally am holding you and you accountable for getting it done. All right. That's it for me. If y'all want to say something real quick, say it. Yeah. Say it quickly because I'm getting off. I'm tired this evening. But I said, if you have not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, Queen Goddess the King, Queen Goddess the King Advocate, please do so. That is the icon of Queen with the sword. If you received an invitation, which you all have, to join another face group, Protect the King, please join it. All of you have received an invitation. I will be holding another meeting, a virtual meeting on Wednesday evening for those of you who missed the first. So please, and pretty please, make sure you accept the invitation and can join me on Wednesday for the virtual meeting. If you all have nothing else to say, which it seems that you do not, which is all right, I'm going to peace out. Y'all go do what you're supposed to do. And know this, if you know nothing else, know this, that I love you on purpose, with purpose. Until next time, loved ones. Peace.